Making your videos with authenticity. We have all heard that before. However, what does that exactly mean? Are we doing it right? That's what we're going to discuss on today's episode. Welcome to another episode of Trust Visuals, helping you bring trust to life with visuals for your brand. It's easy to feel frustrated when your efforts to connect with your audience don't pay off. But what if we are doing it wrong? And today I'm going to reveal how sometimes we can do it wrong if we're not self-aware. Number one, we use clickbait in our titles. Now, I know it's very tempting, it's a trap. It's like saying everybody does it, so why can't we? Clickbait, yes, indeed, at the beginning it does work. But studies have shown over time that clickbait erodes the trust that the audience have with the source of their content. According to a study by the American Press Institute, 69% of users feel distrust and disappointment when they are led to a content piece that was clickbait. And still, it's very pervasive on YouTube. You see it everywhere. You see clickbait titles, and you also see hyperbole. That's another score that I hate myself on YouTube. These titles that are exaggerations, and you know they're exaggerations, and the content creator knows they're exaggerations, but still our primal brains tend to gather around that. Now, another argument against clickbait and hyperbole is that it's like your favorite food or your favorite chocolate. You eat chocolate and you love it, but if you eat every day or twice a day or whatever times a day you eat chocolate every day, it's just not gonna have that kick on the long term. You're going to start to feel bored. It feels numb. That ecstasy that you felt at the beginning when you just eat chocolate occasionally, that goes all away, and that's with a lot of things over time. Too much consumption of that thing, it just numbs your brain, and you start growing apathy against that. It doesn't have that impact that it had before. So that's why clickbait and hyperbole is not a long-term good solution for your content. If you have to resort to clickbait and hyperbole to boost views in your content, then there's something wrong. It's not sustainable. You always have to go to that hamster wheel of creating content, and eventually you're going to burn out, and you know that. We all know that. The second way, which you're maybe using authenticity wrong, or you're doing it wrong, is you think authenticity is a buzzword, and it's just something that a marketing strategy to use. And we have seen this. If you have seen the series The Boys, you know that this corporation, Vought, presents the heroes who are the villains in this series. They present themselves as authentic, but behind the scenes, they're full of BS. And you know that The Boys is trying to be a satire of real life, all these corporations and these media companies and politicians who paint a picture of authenticity, but it's just because it's just a buzzword. They don't really mean it. And we can fall into that trap. We can portray that we're being authentic, but we're actually not. We're just looking for the views, and the public can see it. And it's something that I'm not going to deny. It's very tempting also, just as using clickbait. But at the long term, it just doesn't yield that results. Eventually, people will see that you're not being authentic, that is just all a sham. And that's a really sad position to be in. Number three, and this is very important, you don't share your failures. That's a big problem now with social media. I don't think you need me to tell you that that's a problem. That you go to Instagram or to go to Facebook and you see these influencers with a perfect lives. They don't fail. That's the PR image that sometimes we have the temptation to project. Oh, it's all happy and hunky-dory, and everything's raining, sunshines and rainbows and unicorns. Look, I'm not saying that if you go to the projecting their perfect life routine that's not going to work, but a lot of things have to go right to project kind of that image. And I think it's just easier if you just don't project that image of being perfect and just show all your imperfections and your accomplishments both at the same time. You don't have to spend some mental energy bandwidth and just to projecting an image that you're not. It's just so easier to be human, to be normal, and you won't burn out. Again, when you see all these creators burning out that you thought they had it perfect, it's because of that. They had to sustain every day that rat race, that illusion that everything's going right, when behind the scenes everything was going wrong. And yeah, that's the reality of it. Share your failures. There's a video of a big failure that I had. You can go watch it. I have already recommended it a few times. I'm just going to put it over here. And I try to share my failures because, making a YouTube channel, it's not easy. This is certainly not easy for me. This is not a piece of cake. I do it because I love content creation. Yes, I have some goals. I'm not overly attached to my goals. But whoever says that making a YouTube channel is easy, and that's a lot of clickbait that you see between these YouTube gurus. Oh, correct this one mistake and you will escape small channel YouTube hell. That's bullshit. That's clickbait. Nothing that you'll do on YouTube will be easy. Nothing in life that is worth doing is not going to be easy. You have many failures along the way. And I don't know why we want to believe that there's going to be this perfect solution that is going to make everything alright. Newsflash. No matter, even if you're successful, things will go wrong all the time. You're not going to have that happy heaven ending. You're still living, you're still in life. You always have struggles until the day you're out of this world. Sorry to go as grim as that, but it's the truth. Why are we doing this little lying dance that everything is going to be easy? It's not. You just have to enjoy the good moments that there are between the struggle, because that's what defines us. That's what makes us human beings. That's why we have evolved and made it to here, because we have struggles and then we overcome them, and that's always the same circle. It never stops. That's why we're here, because we learn to adapt. So as the faster that you learn that failure is natural, the faster you begin to progress on whatever goals that you have. And hey, that will make you more relatable with your audience. Share your failures. Everybody's going to love you because it means that you're human. Which brings me to the fourth one, is that you're doing the whole toxic positivity thing, or worse, you flame it. There is a very fine line of positivity and toxic positivity. And for the record, toxic positivity is the act of being in denial of very real problems, the denial of negative emotions. Things are going wrong, but then you manifest your way to positivity and all that crap. Have we not learned about Inside Out already? Haven't you seen that movie? If you've been living on the rock, go watch the first Inside Out movie, because that's what the whole story is all about. Sadness is a real feeling for a reason. We need to feel it. And toxic positivity is just the suppression of those emotions. So when we're having problems, accepting that they're real. And in YouTube or in a lot of content creators, they use the toxic positivity. It's like, oh, no bad energy or nothing. If you're doing that, you're not being relatable to your audience. Acknowledge the difficulty of the situations. Acknowledge that things are not going right sometimes. It doesn't mean that you are a failure in the necessary. You can do everything right, but still things can go wrong. and just accept it. Accept that that's part of your journey. So these are the 4 things that I have identified myself. Maybe I'm missing something. If I'm missing something, comment below. But generally speaking, these are the 4 things that I see with content creators and people who are building a personal brand when they're they're being authentic, but they're not really authentic, or they're undermining their strategies by using these tactics in their content. So this involves a lot of self-awareness to avoid these traps. And I made a video back in the day about the 3 pillars of authenticity for your personal brand. Go watch that video because it's going to have a lot of insights of how to navigate these treacherous waters of being authentic with your brand and not fall into these traps. So I'll see you over there, and always remember to always enjoy the process in your journey.